sharing extremely offensive video content with the potential to cause harm. A case in point is the recent streaming of graphic content of a mother taking the life of an innocent child in Kitengela. At the same time, some social media users are increasingly misusing digital applications to host and stream live videos. Indeed, some applications are being transformed into digital brothels from midnight onwards. Equally worrying is the non-consensual dissemination of internet images or videos of individuals in violation of the country's privacy laws. All these activities are happening at a time when children who are heavy users of the internet and social media are at home for the April holidays. As a society, we need to step back for a moment and reflect on the following. One, are we losing our values that define us as a people? Put differently, have we lost our African philosophy of Obuduism, which is loosely defined as I am because you are? Secondly, are we really looking out for the interest of the child as we interact with technology? Or are we turning the internet, which is one of the most transformative innovations of our time, into the Wild West? In addition, are we harnessing the true value of social media in general and film in particular? Or have we, as a people, normalized violence and misogyny to the point of being insensitive to these vices? Are we also dealing with issues of mental health as a society? As we ponder on these issues as a society, the Kenya Film Classification Board, in the exercise of its consumer advisory role, wishes to state as follows. One, that the freedom of expression, which is enshrined under Article 33 of our Constitution, is not absolute. It has certain limitations. Freedom of expression must also be interpreted within the broader context of other provisions of the Constitution, including Article 11 on culture, Article 24 on the limitation of rights and fundamental freedoms, and Articles 53 and 55, which advocate for the right of the child and the youth, respectively. Offenders, therefore, ought to take note of these limitations of the third parties without their consent. Section 37 of the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act states, and I quote, "A person who transfers, publishes, disseminates, including making a digital depiction available for distribution or downloading through a telecommunications network or through any other means of transferring data to a computer, the intimate or obscene image of a person commits an offense and is liable to a fine not exceeding 200,000 shillings or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years or both." Further, Article 31 of the Constitution provides for the right to privacy over information relating to one's family and private affairs. This provision protects one's intimate images from being unnecessarily required or revealed. In the recent past, our courts have imposed highly punitive fines on violators of this provision. Victims of such gross violations, therefore, should not suffer in silence, but should seek legal redress from the courts. Third, the laws of Kenya outlaw the distribution and possession of obscene cinematograph films meant to corrupt morals. In particular, Section 181, 1A of the Penal Code states that any person for the purpose of or by way of trade or distribution or public exhibition makes or has in possession any obscene cinematograph films tending to corrupt the morals is guilty of a misdemeanor and is liable to imprisonment for 2 years up to a fine of 7,000 shillings. Therefore, persons that are streaming explicit sexual content on social media platforms risk arrest and prosecution. It is important to note that the board has been and shall continue to monitor various platforms with a view to collecting evidence for onward transmission to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations for prosecution. Fourthly, the board appeals to parents, caregivers, and guardians to pay attention and to keenly monitor the content children under their care access on social media networks, broadcast channels, and other platforms. In cases where children have access to the internet and smart devices, parents must exercise responsibility to ensure minors do not access inappropriate content. Further, parents are encouraged to activate the safety features available on various platforms and smart devices used by minors in order to protect children from corruption of their morals. We also urge social media operators, online distributors, and exhibitors to enforce their community guidelines strictly to avoid misuse of their platforms. Moderation of content in their respective platforms must be in alignment with our laws and cultural values. In addition, they also need to institute appropriate control mechanisms in the interest of enhancing online safety, especially for children. In addition, social media users need to reflect on child online safety before sharing video or film content on digital platforms. If in doubt, they should make reference to the film classification guidelines which the board uses to assign age-appropriate ratings